think that polls at this point matter. The president is using all of his deal-making powers and all of his resources to get this through. It very much reminds me of many other squeakers or nail biters. For example, when President George W. Bush got his Medicare Part D drug benefit through, he was still twisting arms and cutting deals by telephone as the roll call was being called on that vote, and something similar may happen tomorrow. But I predict that the president will get it through. I do not believe that Paul Ryan would go ahead with this vote scheduled if he did not have the votes, and they will be there. There is no alternative to repeal except continuing with Obamacare, which, as the president said, is a disaster for the nation.
All right, well, not everybody is as confident. The president of the Heritage Foundation, Jim DeMint, joined us earlier on America Talks Live today, and he says his organization cannot support this bill as is. Take a listen.
Well, it doesn't change the basic architecture of Obamacare, the things that have pushed up the prices of health insurance, that have reduced the choices of health insurance, and taken away a lot of the decision-making from patients and physicians. This does not do the things that are going to push prices down. Now, I know the president has been told by Republicans in Congress that, hey, we can do those things and regulations in phase 2 of this, and in phase 3 we can get to interstate competition. But these things are very unlikely to happen in the way that we would hope they would.
And the Heritage Foundation isn't alone. The conservative House Freedom Caucus is also threatening to oppose the American Health Care Act unless dramatic changes are made to the Republican proposal by tonight. We know at least 43 pages of changes were made the other night. Chris, do you think those dramatic changes will be made tonight? And if not, how much of an impact will these conservatives have on this particular vote?
Well, I don't know that the changes will in fact be sufficient because here's the problem. The problem is if you go where I think you need to go, which is a more conservative approach, you then will alienate a number of the more moderate Republicans. And so that's problem number one. Problem number two, I don't know, and I've read the bill exhaustively. My concern is I'm not sure that it ultimately gets to reducing premiums, which has to be the fundamental change. Now, if those changes can be made and if those changes are accepted, then I agree with Betsy. It'll be the last minute arm twisting that will go on. I think the Freedom Caucus and other conservative organizations such as Heritage and others will have a significant impact on how this plays out.
Betsy, I saw you nodding and shaking your head during some of the comments from Chris there. Would you like to respond?
Yes, I think with all due respect, Chris and others who are claiming that this won't lower prices are ignoring Section 2202 of this bill, which provides very large block grants to the states to pay for the costs of the highest cost patients within the individual market with tax dollars, relieving the burden on premium payments and therefore allowing premiums to go down. That is key. I met with Secretary Price a couple of days ago on this. I can assure you that's a very important part of this bill that's been discounted or ignored by the CBO and many of its opponents.